is day number 4 of our Stuff Your Stocking event. I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving and you are ready for an amazing day of English paper piecing products. And ooh, Joe says, ooh, to let you know about all of the goodies that we have for today's special. Here is my favorite elf, Laura.
Thank you, Mrs. Claus. We've all been waiting for the Christmas tree sweater to come out here. All right, so we have 6 specials for today, all focusing on English paper piecing. And our first special is a revolving cutting mat by Daley. And this is a new and improved model cutting mat designed by Sue. It has a non-slip backing on it, so it's great when you're cutting on it. It's not going to slip on the table. The revolving cutting mat, which is a self-healing cutting mat, is gridded, so it helps you to line up shapes while you're doing your cutting. It's an ideal size for using small acrylic templates and you want to cut out different shapes. So as you're cutting, your mat is going to be revolving as you cut everything, all of your shapes out there. Whatever method you choose to use for your English paper piecing, it's a great tool to use for cutting small shapes. Speaking of cutting small shapes, the 28 millimeter rotary blade cutter is an ideal size for cutting around our small templates. Our larger blades work, they're a little bit more awkward, so it's nice with a 28 millimeter blade that's going to help you in cutting quickly and accurately all of your acrylic templates. Our third special for our English paper piecing is we like to use or recommend a larger needle. And these are designed by Tulip. They are a applique needle in a size 10, which is a nice size for using with your applique. What's special about these needles, it's hard to zoom in and see on it, but it is a larger eye. So it really helps to thread these nice, sharp, fine needle, and it helps with all of your applique or doing a whip stitch with your English paper piecing. What we like to recommend too for threads for the English paper piecing are threads designed by Wonderfil, and these are Deco Bob threads, and they're both in neutral colors, a white and a light gray. This is a nice strong thread, but it's an 80 weight thread. So it holds up for English paper piecing, and because it's so fine, it works super in your sewing machine. So it helps you to keep your seams nice and flat. Highly recommended hand sewing, applique hand sewing, or in your sewing machine there too. So our fourth special are these SewTite dots. And these are the best way to explain them if you've never used them. They're a magnetic magnetic needle or pin. Sometimes when you are doing any kind of handwork with something that is bulky, it is hard to pin it. Your pieces will begin to shift. So the dots are ideal for appliquing wool. The way you work the dots is you slide them apart. I'll put one dot on the top, my little magnetic backing right underneath it. It holds that shape in place and you can do all your handwork without having to use pins. Another application for their use is also with English paper piecing. Again, if you have your shapes already in place and ready to sew together, it is hard to use pins to hold them together. You can use binding clips, but many times your thread is going to get tangled. So it's nice with the dots. These are, think of them as magnetic pins. Put one dot on top, the magnetic backing in the back, and it will hold that together while you do your hand stitching. I like these also for doing labels, sewing labels onto the back of a quilt. I have a label here, which we're also going to take a look at in a little bit in one of our other daily specials. But if you're ready to hand sew this to the back of your quilt, you know how challenging that can be trying to hold it in place. So with our dots, you position your label. I know this is upside down for you, but it's not so much the wording on the label. I just want to show you how these are positioned. I put my dot on the label, the magnetic backing behind it, and I usually will put a dot in the four corners. It holds that label in place and it makes it much easier to do your hand stitching. And our last special that we wanted to show you for English Paper Piecing Day is the Ultimate Paper Piecing Guidebook. And this is a great reference book. Has some projects in it, but it really gives you so much useful information for all of your English paper piecing. Great reference tool. The contents are listed in here, so it will cover everything from A to Z for English paper piecing. I'll just show you a couple of the projects in here too, but a lot of visual information, a lot of good reference material that you can refer back to when you're doing your English paper piecing projects. So a lot of specials today, some special prices, and Mrs. Claus will give you what those prices are.
Thank you so much, Laura. And the tree is back. The tree is back to give you all the pricing for Day 4 English Paper Piecing, November 24th. So the Daley rotating mat is $32 today. The 28 millimeter Olfa rotary cutter is $13 today. The Tulip Needle pack, which comes 12 needles in a package, if I remember correctly, is $9. The SewTite dots are $24 today, and my tree trunk is falling on my eyes. SewTite dots, what else do we have? Thread. The Deco Bob thread today is $9, and Carolina Moore's Ultimate Paper Piecing Reference Guidebook today is now $11. And if you were to buy one of each of the items, we have done a fantastic bundle deal that you will get the Tulip Needles for free. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. A reminder that all of the stockings will be ready for pickup or shipping on December 15th or thereabouts. Give us a few days to make sure we get everything packed for you. And with that, we will see you tomorrow for day number 5. Have a great day.